Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how you can use function pointers to call any kind of function from anywhere. You can also store function addresses in just a single variable. Like the ordinary pointers, you can also use function pointers to call functions. We will see also how it is different from our ordinary pointer variables. Note that function pointers is also a variable which holds the address of functions and nothing else. So let's get started. So let's see how we can use them and how it is different from our ordinary pointer variables, right? So in previous video, I have discussed that how to declare pointer variables which can point to memory blocks of different types. For example, if you want to create pointer to integer, then you have to specify the data type and then asterisk and then pointer name, right? And we can also assign the address of an integer block of memory like this. So this is much more obvious. And now let's see how we can use function pointers. So let's take an example. Suppose that we have a function which will return nothing, and we have the name function, and it has the parameter like integer a, right? And it will just print like value and a, std, and line, right? So what it does, whatever we will pass, it will print along with this value string, right? For example, if I call this function like 5, so let's compile this. Okay, now let's run this. Now you can see that we have 5, right? So this is the usual way that you have to call the function with the help of their names, right? And you can also call this function with the help of some pointers, and that is called function pointer. So how you can declare it? So first of all, you have to write the data type of the returning value, which is of course here it is void. So you have to write void, and then you have to write your pointer name like function pointer, right? If you're declaring an ordinary pointer, then you have to just put here an asterisk sign. But here you are creating function pointer. So what we have to do, we have to just only place pair of parentheses around this. Note that this asterisk must be inside here along with the name, right? So this is our function pointers, but we have to also mention the parameter list. We have to mention the types of parameters, right? For example, we have here integer, then we have to also mention here integer. And if it is their char pointer, like string or underscore string, then we have to mention here the char pointer. So this is our function pointer. We have created it, and now we have declared it, right? So let's delete this kind of thing. Okay, and now we can assign it the address of this function with the help of ampersand operator. But in the case of function pointers, it is not recommended, or it is not necessary, it is not compulsory to put here ampersand sign. You can leave it as blank, right? So now we can call this function with the help of this pointer. How you can call it? You have to call this like this. And now this function takes a parameter which is of type integer. So we have to pass a parameter called let's 5, right? So let's see the output. Now prints. Now we have got the value 5, right? So let's create another function, and it will return integer. Let's get square, and it will take a value, right? And then it will return value multiplied by value. So we have to note the signature of this function and this function. Note that the signature of this function and this function is completely different, right? So can we assign the address of this function to this pointer? No, the answer is no, we can't do this. If you try to do this, let's address of cat sqr, and you can also omit this ampersand operator. So you can see that we will get an error, right? So this saying that invalid conversion from this to this, and you can't do this, right? So don't try this. So if you want to point this function, so we have to create also a function pointer which would be compatible to this kind of signature. So how we can do that? So we have to create another pointer. We have to mention here the integer type, right? And then a pointer name like int ptr, right? And then parenthesis, and then asterisk, and then again parenthesis. We have to close this, and now we have to mention the parameters that this function will take, like integer. Okay, and now we have to assign the address of this function get square, right? So let's remove this. Okay, now let's get the result. Int ptr, and then 6, right? So result will have the value 36. And note that we can also dereference this and then call it, right? But in function pointers, to make much more flexibility here, we don't need this. We don't require these things, right? So let's call it. Okay, we have already called it, and then let's print the result. Okay, okay, so let's see the result. Now you can see that we have the result 36. So this is how function pointers work, and there is much more thing you can do this so that you can make the list of functions. Then we can also push and pop function pointers, and then we can call a series of functions or sequence of function like an event. We can also implement event driven system with the help of function pointers. When an event occurs, we have to fire an event, and that event will execute some of these functions, and this is implemented with the help of function pointers. In the next video, we will also see how we can create an event system, right? And this will also help you to understand how the game engines works, and how the event callbacks works, how the callback functions work. If you want to learn about game programming, how to program your game, or how to create your own game, then you can check out my Unity Engine series. So this is pretty much for today, and I will meet you in the next video. If you like this video, and then subscribe to my channel.